Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling and the latest podcast. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me, of course, is the former WCW and WWF head writer, the former WCW World Heavyweight
Mm.
Champion, Vince Russo. Vince, welcome back. How you doing?
What is going on, John? How you doing, my friend?
Very good. Apparently, Disco said that you were not better than 80% of the WCW roster, by the way.
Bro, that's Disco talking out of his ass. Like Disco always does. That's all Disco does is talk out of his ass. Bro, when I said that, I didn't mean to be disparaging to any of the talent, but I meant what I said. And what I meant by being better than 80% of the talent is, bro, I was a heel on television. Okay. And my role was to get as much heat as I possibly can in order to get baby faces over. That was my role. That is the role of a heel. And yes, bro, I believe I did that better than 80% of the roster. I believe I did my job as a heel in getting myself heat to elevate baby faces up there in the top 20 percentile in WCW. Yes, I believe I did that. I'll be honest with you, bro. I am not bullshitting you. If it were today, bro, you could take NXT, you could take WWE, you could take AEW. I would be better than 90% of the people on the roster.
Wow.
Bro, listen, here's a perfect example, John. Mm-hmm. This past Monday, we open up with an in-ring between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. Okay, bro, it's like a 15-minute in-ring, whatever it is. Bro, I'm sitting there watching the in-ring, and by the time the in-ring is over, I don't care who wins the match between the two of them. There's no reason for me to care about either one of these guys. I'm not watching this, and I think Priest is the heel, but there is absolutely no heat whatsoever for me to want to see Seth Rollins kick Damian Priest's ass. And that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're supposed to evoke some kind of emotion in me, bro. That's your job as a wrestler. There was zero emotion. I after watching that, I'm like, I could literally give one crap who wins the match between the two of these guys.
Well, I'll tell you one thing you will be interested in, and that's Attitude Era, WWF 1999, No Mercy UK version from Manchester, England, from May 16th. So this is all right after the highest rated Raw. The attendance 18,107 at the old AO Arena, aka Manchester Evening News Arena. Man, Manchester, UK, they always had good crowds, always had hot crowds, but it was weird back then. I know different from the PLEs now. It was almost like an inflated house show, right? Back then, as far as the UK pay-per-views?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, bro. If it was an intricate part of television or anything, I would have had to go. But it absolutely was treated like a house show. Bro, were the fans back there in Manchester, were they singing throughout in-ring promos? Were they doing all that stuff back there?
No.
Okay. They behaved.
They were loud.
Yeah. Oh, of course. But they didn't make jackasses out of themselves.
No, you're not liking the loud crowds.
Oh, no, bro. Not loud is the wrong word, John. They're obnoxious. And they are obnoxious at the expense of the talent. And the way they carry on is a total disrespect to the talent in the ring.
So you don't like that song, Cody Rhodes, and all that other stuff that they were singing?
Oh, God, bro, please, man, please. It's freaking embarrassing.
So you never went to the
when's the last time, bro? When's the last time, John?
Yeah.
You went to see the Giants play at the Meadowlands, and the entire crowd is just breaking out in song. When's the last time that happened?
Never.
Yeah, because you know why? Because they're real fans. That's why, bro. They cheer and they boo like real fans do.
You know what's great? Years ago, and my buddy hates it because he loves Tiki Barber, but when they put him in the Giants Ring of Honor, he got booed out of the building.
Did he?
It was great. Yeah, because
Wow.
remember when he retired, he ripped Eli and said, "This guy will never win." Literally, the next year after he retired,
They
they
won
won
the
the Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
So he
Yeah.
literally had to eat crow, and now he's on New York radio stations, kind of kissing Giants' ass.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was funny; he got booed out of the building at his own Hall of Fame ceremony for the Giants.
Yeah. Well, that's New York fans for you, bro.
Yeah, you don't rip on Eli; you can't do
No,
that.
no.
No, but you didn't go to the UK, huh? You don't go to
Bro,
any of those shows.
I never left the country except for Canada. But outside of Canada, I never left the country, bro, until I was out of the business. Then I did a couple of tours and stuff overseas. But while I was working actively, I never left the country outside of Canada.
Wow, not like demanded by Vince. Nothing. They don't tell you have
I didn't
to.
want to go. I didn't want to go. I wrote the shows. Like I said, bro, they weren't really pertinent to what was going on television. There was no need for me to go, and I didn't want to go. And I never went outside of, like I said, U.S. and Canada.
So you actually do have the right to show, though, even though it's almost like a house show per
Yeah,
se.
yeah,
So you still have to write it, though.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So here in May of '99, May 16th, Undertaker is stalking Stephanie McMahon. Vince is now distracted from the feud with Austin because he's obsessed with why is this guy coming after my daughter. So then, of course, Shane steps up. He kind of takes over the corporation. He gets drunk with power. He creates the corporate ministry with the Undertaker, and that's kind of where we are and kind of building up really for Over the Edge, that pay-per-view, which is going to be the next week. Does that bother you at all that they do a UK pay-per-view and then the next week is the real pay-per-view, or it doesn't really matter? It's just get the money, get the cheddar, and
Yeah,
keep the
no,
train
bro.
moving.
Listen, I always approach the wrestling business as business, bro. Like I understood, like that's dollars and cents. That's how the company had to make its money. So I never questioned anything like that.
Do you like the not tease, but I guess maybe like a little bit of a tease that Vince is like going to be a baby face now? Shane is going to be the main heel. Do you like that?
Well, bro, again, I never really looked at it that way. I was always just staying true to character, man. Just always staying true to character and letting all this stuff just organically work itself out. I mean, so I never really looked at it that way. I just made sure that when I was writing, I was true to everybody's character. And again, bro, as despicable uh a human being as Mr. McMahon was, he was gonna care about Daddy's little girl, So that was really the story.
And obviously, which is funny and probably true to life, she's his favorite, and Shane is not.
It's the truth,
So
absolute truth, bro, absolute truth. Yeah,
now, when you're writing, do you have like a board where you put like, okay,
no,
Austin is the top baby face, The Rock is the top heel, and you don't do that. I've seen that before where different writers will
bro.
do
What
that and
what
create
what
like a
what what
board.
I'll do is okay. Here's the pay per view. So say that week it's the pay per view and then Raw. Here's the pay per view. Here's the next pay per view. Here's all the people on that pay per view and all the matches. And then you just go week to week to week. So you have 4 weeks of television and you just make sure everybody in all those matches is represented on television every week for those 4 weeks. So you just go right. Is Austin on 4 weeks? Yeah. Or is, Rock on 4 weeks, and you just make sure everybody and every story is represented every week headed to that pay-per-view.
Is there like a list of who's most important to least important, or you don't do that?
No, bro. This is. I mean, bro. I swear I can literally like. I'm still doing it. I mean, I can show you right now, bro. Like, if you look closely, these are my Rocky Mountain Pro notes. But if you look closely, bro, you see show 1, show 3, show 4. I know I need 4 matches on each show. So you see the little circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got my 4 matches on each show. And then I got my little asterisk where I've got the elements of each show. This is it, bro. This is how a Raw was written. I mean, this exact way.
Wow, that's amazing. So no, like printed, or did it somebody end up printing them
Oh
and
no,
kind of
no,
handing
no,
them out?
no, bro. Once, so okay, bro. So I do this. Okay, bro.
Okay.
I do this. Then this, that, once I get all that, bro, that turns into this.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that
Yep.
that turns into this. Once I've got all the elements and all the matches, bro, then I format the show. And that's it. That was the process, bro. That was the process with every single company that I worked for.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kind of old school in a way.
Simple, very, very
Yeah.
simple. That's the problem today, bro. You got way too many people involved, and you're missing the dotting of the i's and the crossing the t's and the details and the nuances, and you're forgetting stuff. This is the way it's always been done, and I'm still doing it that way today.
Love that. Now, as far as 99 and what's going on, it's just very interesting. Like, you guys are kind of just kicking ass, taking names. WCW is struggling quite a bit at 99. Are you noticing that big time, or they're not even really, you don't pay attention to that?
Nah, bro, we're not paying attention to anything they're doing. All our focus is on our show, bro. I mean, it's just like we were talking about, just like a major sports franchise. They can't control what the other teams in the division are doing. They just worry about themselves. And yeah, we were just really, trying to write the best shows possible.
So, of course, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are at it, the greatest announced team possibly of all time. When you think of Attitude Era, you think of those two guys. So the corporate ministry comes out first. Shane announces they will have no mercy on their opponent. Shane even offers to defend the European title tonight against X-Pac. He also makes the title match main event, which is a triple threat between Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker. He makes it no DQ. So Shane McMahon is kind of taking over the show, making matches here.
Yeah. Well, bro, again, like I can't say it enough. All of the McMahons were great performers, bro. All of them. It had to be something in the blood, bro. It really, really did, because all of them were absolutely phenomenal.
So Shane McMahon, by the way, for the second time this year, a few weeks ago, was at the Yankees game again. So he was at Yankee Stadium, and he sat in the bleachers again. So that must be his thing. He must just like to sit out there with the bleacher creatures.
He's one of the people, bro. He's one of the
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny. I saw people were like, Shane O'Mac, and he's just like giving high fives to everybody as he goes to his seat. Seems like a
Bro, I
really nice guy.
swear I got, I can never pronounce his name right. Heel,
Heel.
the Yankee starter. What's it? How do you
Oh,
pronounce?
yeah. I always say Luis Gil, but yeah, it's Heel. Luis
Oh,
Heel. Yeah.
I got my ass kicked in fantasy baseball yesterday, thanks to him, bro. Oh my God.
Shocked.
What the heck was that?
That was his only bad game all year. That's the most runs he let up, more than every other game combined.
Oh man, I saw that yesterday. I checked in during the night and I'm like, oh, that guy. I think he put up minus 19 points in fantasy baseball yesterday, bro.
Insane. His ERA went from a 2 to now a 2.77. So it shows you how dominant he was before that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, oof. Still 9-2 though on the year. He's
yeah,
still excellent, but man, that was crazy.
yeah,
Horrible game for Luis. I guess
yeah,
it's
bro.
Heel,
Well,
but I always say Gil. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, thank God they pulled him after an inning and a third. I mean, so I didn't have to waste a lot of innings. But oof, what a ugly, bro.
That was brutal.
Yeah,
Speaking of Shane McMahon, have you seen this rumor online that for some reason he is interested in being a part of AEW?
bro. What? For some reason, I spoke about this. I spoke about this when Vince started selling off all of that stock and he was getting billions and billions. Bro, what do you think? You think Shane is checking around, bro, because he wants to be an on-air talent at AEW? No, bro. Vince making the move. Bro, can you imagine Vince? First of all, nobody would know it's Vince. It would all be done through Shane. Okay, because the position Vince is in, it would be a very, very hard sell. So if Vince is behind it, 1,000% behind Shane. Can you imagine, bro? AEW can't get a television deal. Tony Khan's in trouble. Freaking Tony sells the company to Shane with Vince pulling the strings, and now AEW is going head to head with the WWE.
That would be crazy.
Can
Almost
you
can't fathom
imagine?
it. That would be crazy. That'd be
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, no, I'm saying, bro, it's not. If Shane is poking around, it's not because he wants to wrestle. It's much, much, much bigger than that.
You think that JR was giving maybe too much info out when he was talking about that?
Maybe, bro. Maybe he was, but I call this. I said, bro, there is no way in the world Vince is cashing out all that. What do you think? He's going to sit on billions and billions of dollars until he dies? He's forming and calculating some kind of a plan. Obviously, bro, he can't be the one doing it because of the legal problems that he's in, but he could do it all through Shane.
That would be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy.
Yep.
Imagine that. The
Yeah.
McMahons owning
And
either.
think about it, bro. Think about how does Vince feel now that his son-in-law is so prominent in WWE, bro? Bro, Vince is sitting at home seeing about the Triple H era and Stephanie cutting the promo and not even mentioning her father. Bro, I'm telling you, man, you know, what's the old, you don't tug on Superman's cake, you don't spit into the wind. Bro, you don't mess around with Vince. He's very, very vindictive, bro, even when it comes to his own family.
Man, that would be crazy if that
Yep.
would happen. But let's wait and see to see what happens with Vince and Shane. But as far as this pay per view in the UK, interesting to note that these shows used to be like when they had the big shows of their broadcast for free on Sky Sports. Now they're going to an exclusive pay per view for UK. Obviously, more money, more dollars. Just a smart thing to do. That started at one night only back in 1997. So one of those things, I guess it's all about dollars and cents. So
Yeah.
now they're going to make exclusive UK pay per views. The UK fans love it. Creatively, you don't really have to go crazy and make it into another pay per view, but
Right.
it's one of those things where you're going to end up making a good amount of money off of it, making exclusive UK pay per view.
Absolutely. 100%.
First matchup, you're going to love this one. Tiger Ali Singh versus Gilbert. What do you think about that? Opening contest, Tiger Ali Singh and Gilbert.
Yeah. I'm assuming Tiger Ali Singh went over. I'm assuming.
He beat him via pinfall in 1 minute and 5 seconds. So a
Oh
nice
my.
little short and sweet match. He just
Yeah.
basically kills him.
That's just to get, oh, bro. All you need is the Gilbert entrance. That's
Yeah.
all you need. Well, after the Gilbert entrance, you could beat the guy immediately. But the Gilbert entrance was absolutely the money.
What is up with Gilbert? Was that just to make fun of Goldberg? Was there something more devious at hand here? Was
No,
it?
no, just good, lighthearted fun. And Dwayne Gill, I mean, just his look, bro. That
Yeah.
and the entrance and I mean, nah, bro, that was 1,000% entertainment.
When you look at it, Goldberg hated Gilbert, hated the character. Just
Bro,
had
Goldberg needs to lighten up, man. Like I didn't watch the Who Killed WCW, but I mean, the things he says about Brett, the things he says about me, bro, lighten up, man. Like that stuff was like 25 years ago, man. Like seriously, like let it go, man. Just lighten up, man.
yeah, he was not too kind about you. He said you are responsible for killing WCW as
Well,
well.
whatever, bro. That just goes to show you the intellect of a guy thinking that a writer put a multi-million-dollar company out of business. It speaks for itself, bro. I don't need to comment and say anything bad about Goldberg, so I won't.
So next up, we have a little recap of the Brood defecting from the ministry after Undertaker tried some tough love on them. He tried some tough love on Christian. So um, they're basically out of the corporate ministry. They're baby faces. Do you think the Brood better as baby faces? Were they getting a better reaction? Maybe.
Well, they're cool, bro. Cool. It's hard to boo cool, bro. I mean, that's why, NWO, Nash and Hall, it is really hard to be heels if you are cool. And that was a cool faction, bro.
Cool entrance theme as well, and
Yeah, oh
the
yeah,
cool
tremendous.
entrance.
All that stuff. And that had nothing to do with me. That was all Kevin Dunn. That was all the TV department. That had nothing to do with me.
But aren't you the one that brought David Heath in? Aren't you
Oh
the one
yeah, I'm just
responsible
I'm
for that?
just talking about the presentation.
Oh, okay.
The Ring of Fire, the
Yep.
music, and all that
Yep.
stuff. That's what I'm talking about, which was a big part of them being over. That's the part I'm talking about.
But you did bring him in, right,
Yeah,
Gangrel? As
yeah,
far as
yeah,
was it because you wanted him to play Gangrel, the
yeah,
vampire character, or was
yeah.
it something else?
No, it was that. It was that. And he gave me a whole bunch of books and stuff, bro, on vampires and who he thought his characters should be. He really gave me a bunch of cool stuff, and we just went from there.
You think he should have gotten a bigger push? I know Edge eventually ends up getting like the big push, but do you think Gangrel should have got a bigger push?
Yeah, you know what, bro? He probably should have. He probably should have, because, like, as I go back and I watch the Attitude Era now for my review show, bro, he was vicious, man. He was vicious. He was aggressive. He looked great. Yeah, bro, absolutely. I think he should have. But again, bro, the problem was there were so many people on top at the time. You know what I'm saying? If it were today, forget about it. But bro, when you look at, Taker and Kane and Rock and, Austin and, Mick Foley, and you just look at all the guys that were on top, it was really, really hard to crack the top 6 or the top 8 guys.
For sure. Do you
Yeah.
think maybe promos too maybe held him back a
Yeah,
little bit?
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
So this match, the Ministry of Darkness, which is the acolytes of Bradshaw and Farouk and Viscera, in a 6-man tag versus the Brood, Christian, Edge, Gangrel. The Ministry of Darkness gets the win in almost 14 minutes. So a long 6-man tag here. It was an okay match. And Midian and Shane McMahon come out and interfere and help the Ministry of Darkness defeat the Brood. What do you think here? The heels go over, but a long match, 14-minute match.
Well, I mean, the heels go over, but they cheated, so the
Yeah.
baby faces are protected. Bro, I had a pop because I just watched the Attitude Era episode, and we had seen Christian come out with Gangrel before, but we didn't know who he was. So on the next show, Lawler names him for the first time and says, "Yeah, man, we got word that that's Christian's younger brother. That's Edge's younger brother, Christian, right?"
Yep.
Bro, later on in the show, JR refers to him as Christopher, which popped me huge, bro. Yeah, he called him Christopher. JR referred to him after Lawler said Christian, about 30 minutes later, JR called him Christopher.
Love that.
Yeah.
Little bit of a mistake, or is he being jokey about it?
No, definitely a mistake. Definitely a
Oh,
mistake.
okay.
Yeah.
I got 3 hours of TV here, pal. It's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
a lot to remember.
Yeah.
As far as the Brood, though, does that mean not? I know it's a kind of UK pay per view. It's kind of only a house show thing. But does that mean they're not getting a big push? Are they not
No,
ready,
not
or is it
not
just
not yeah, not
furthering
at
the
all.
feud?
Yeah, further in the feud, and at this point, it was really more important to get a little bit more heat on the Ministry.
So the next matchup, we have Steve Blackman versus Droz. Interesting matchup here. What did you think about Droz and the Droz character? And he's gonna puke. What did you think about him,
Oh,
Darren
bro.
Drozdov?
Again, bro, cool character, looked the part, looked like a wrestler. And bro, like, I just maybe about a month ago or so saw the Brawl for All. Bro, he was a tough dude. Like, he was the real deal. He was a tough dude. So, bro, I wasn't in love with the kilt, like, and all that stuff, but he was the real deal, and he was legit, and he was a great athlete.
Yeah, played for the Broncos, played for the
Yeah,
NFL. Yeah, he was a
yeah,
former football player.
no doubt.
Vince seemed to love the puking on
Of
command
course,
stuff.
Vince loves puking. Vince loves pooping. Vince had a really weird fetish for that kind of stuff, bro.
He almost has the sense of humor of a kid
Yeah,
in a
you're
certain
exactly right,
aspect.
bro. I swear to God that when Ed Ferrara and I left, the first thing Vince did was have Davey Boy Smith roll around in freaking dog shit. That's the first thing Vince did. It was on the very next day, and I'm like, oh, it was on the very next show, and I'm like, oh my God. And he was the one that edited me. Come on, bro.
They even said that on the Vice doc or whatever. Like Vince McMahon was the one that
Yeah,
reined in Russo.
yeah, of course, bro. Yeah.
They actually, not that, I guess it was about 5, 6 years ago, maybe they did that with Baron Corbin too. Remember they put I don't know if you were watching at that
Yeah,
point, but they
yes,
put the
yes.
dog poop or whatever all over him. That was weird. Or dog food, whatever the hell it was. That
Dog
that
food.
was
It was
weird.
so yeah, that
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, I'm the one that has to be reined in, bro. Yeah. Vin Vin
Now,
Vince Vince wanted Dustin Rhodes to run around in a full body skin colored bodysuit and call himself the naked guy. That's what Vince wanted. And I had to be reined in, bro. Okay.
right. Yes. Interesting about Draws too. He brings in Prince Albert, which I think people know what that actual meaning is. As his tattoo guy, his piercing guy. Who is responsible for that gimmick? Who created Prince Albert?
Bro, I had no idea what a Prince Albert was. Maybe it was Bruce that smartened me up and told me what that was, and that's where we came up with it. But I had no, bro. I swear to God, like that's the thing. You talk about reining me in. I didn't know what a Prince Albert was, bro. Do you know when Brian Clark and Brian Adams, when they pitched Chronic to me, I had no idea what Chronic meant, bro.
Really?
I had
Oh.
no idea what Chronic meant till they were a well-established tag team, and then somebody told me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I had no idea what that meant. So, like, I had no idea what a Prince Albert was. It might have been Bruce.
When you think about them, I guess they're supposed to be not oddities per se, like that gimmick, but like kind of they're like weirdos or like this kind of heelish, but like they're very strange. They have their own tattoos, they have piercings, right? I mean, they're supposed to be kind of like I don't know, like new age heels, but like kind of
Yeah,
weirdos almost.
yeah, but it didn't. I don't, bro. It didn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I mean, it just didn't work. I don't know if it was. I don't want to say lack of personality on Draws's part. I think Draws had a lot of personality. I don't think Prince Albert had as much, personality. But yeah, bro. I mean that felt flat and just did not work.
Did you like the puke stuff though, as far as like when he would do it in the ring and like get a reaction or
No,
no?
no, no.
It was kind of strange. I know he did on the football field and got a reaction, of course,
Yeah,
but it just I don't know. It doesn't really fit in with wrestling to me, and it just seems like
no.
kind of odd.
It's very odd. It's and again, it's like you said, Vince with these freaking fetishes, bro. Like whatever floats your boat, bro. And then what do we find out about Janelle Grant years later? That's why when she claimed that, it was not that far fetched for me because I know Vince loves that shit. I mean, he does. Anybody that knows Vince knows that he loves that shit. That's why when I heard that, I was like, bro, she can't be making that shit up.
Creepy as all hell. Can't believe anybody's into that stuff, but hey, somebody
Yeah.
somebody is apparently. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
Blackman gets the win here in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Probably not a surprise that Blackman goes over, right? Not no
Yeah,
surprise.
no, bro, I swear to God, that's the one thing I really miss about like wrestling back then. There are a lot of things I really miss about it, but man, bro, like when I watch back the Attitude Era, bro, like forget about the Attitude Era and the writing and all that shit. That's not what I'm talking about. Forget about all that. Bro, so many guys on the roster were the real deal. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like the Blackmans and the Shamrocks and the Harris boys and bro, freaking Dennis Knight and Mark Canterbury. Like
Yep.
these were real. Farouk, Bradshaw, bro. There were so many real, legit, tough guys. I mean, really guys that you just know would freaking kill you. I miss that part of it, bro, because I see so many people come out and it's just mamby-pamby bullshit. I mean, to me, wrestlers should look a certain way, and back then they freaking looked the part.
A little bit different nowadays.
Yeah,
Little guys are a little smaller as well.
yeah, yeah.
So next up, we have a Harry Beaver cleavage
Yes.
video.
My favorite.
Basically, the mom, if you will, Mariana Kamlos, if you will. She's the mom. They're doing a lot of, I guess, double entendres, a lot of sex jokes, a lot of pretending that something's happening that really isn't happening. Like, hey, my knee hurts. Oh, I'm good on my knees, and like, like that kind of stuff. What is going on here with beaver cleavage? Even in the UK, they're getting a
Yeah,
video package, a little
bro.
vignette.
Again, bro, it was very much like the Gold Dust character that went right over people's heads. Gold Dust was playing off the homophobic fears of his competitors. He was not gay. He was not trans. He was not any of those things, bro. He was playing mind games. This was kind of the same thing. That was not his mom, bro. It was all a work. It was all an act. It would have been revealed. But oh my God, bro, people really thought that the son was doing the mom. And oh my God, bro. At that point, man, it's not even worth to fight for it. It's like, fine, bro, just freaking kill it. Who cares?
Well, they're the same age.
Yeah,
So how could it be the mom?
but people believe that, bro. People believe that. They really believe there was an incestuous relationship, and I'm like, really, bro? But it's not even worth fighting at that point, bro.
When you look at that, does Headbanger Mosh, does he like Chaz? Does he like the gimmick, or is
Oh
he?
yeah, he had no problem with it. He had no problem with it whatsoever because I think at the time Thrasher was hurt, I think, or he was on the shelf for a reason, bro. I can't remember, but we needed to find something for Mosh to do.
When you look at that gimmick, obviously it gets quote unquote canceled and moved on. Did somebody threaten to sue, or was it too many calls? Like why basically does it get canceled before it gets started?
Because they worry about advertisers. Bro, that's why I saw. That's the one thing I did not watch the WCW gimmick, bro. I've got no interest in people burying me and calling me a liar. 25 years, like I would just love for one person to tell me, bro, why am I going to lie about anything involving my job from 25 years ago? Like
Right.
what's my incentive to lie about anything? But I did see a one little clip, bro, and it was Brad Siegel saying that I guess the stuff I was writing was not advertiser friendly, right? I saw that clip on a trailer or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. A few times. Yeah.
Here's the part that bothers me, bro. Okay, John, this is the part that bothers me. And at the WWE, I knew when we were having problems with Goldust and Mosh because like Kevin Dunn and Vince told me, bro, people are calling in, advertisers, this and that. And bro, I don't F with business. I'm not going to tell them, no, Vince, it's okay that you lose millions of dollars in sponsorship. No, I understand business. The one thing that bothers me about that, bro, is Brad Siegel never had that conversation with me. If Brad Siegel would have came to me and said, Vince, we're really, really having problems with advertisers. Maybe we need to tone. Bro, he never had that conversation with me. So when I'm looking at this clip, I'm like, really, Brad? Well, if that were the case, don't you think you should have told the head writer?
Right.
Never, ever, ever, John, did he have that conversation with me. Never.
Come on, Brad. Brad, as much as I like him, does not come off well in that documentary. I
No,
hate to
bro,
say it, but he does not.
because, bro, here's what happened. This is what happened. And this is why he told Eric Bischoff that he was going to oversee me.
Yep.
And he told me that I was working with Eric Bischoff. And I'll tell you exactly why he did that, bro. Because what happened, John, was when politics kicked in, and after the first 3 months, they called me in the office and they said to me, Vince, there's going to be a change in direction. You're going to be part of a committee. And I sat there and I calmly said, thanks, but no thanks. I have a contract. The contract says I am head of creative. I have no interest in being part of any committee. So I am going to go home and just let me know how you're going to handle the rest of my contract. Okay. I would have said the same thing if he said, I'm bringing in Eric Bischoff to oversee you. I would have said the same. And he knew it. He knew. I would have said, Brad, I've got a contract. I am the head of creative. Nobody's going to oversee me. That's why he never said that to me, bro, because he knew I would have said the same exact thing. So there was really, bro, a lot of dishonesty on Brad Siegel's part. And like I said, bro, with that advertising thing, never did he have one conversation with me.
Well, if you read the Nitro book too by Guy Evans, my buddy Guy, Brad Siegel, he did a lot of stuff to kind of sandbag WCW, which is like nuts because he's in charge, of a certain aspect of, you know what I mean? It's like, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So Mankind comes out. He wants to call the British Bulldog, who I guess is kind of on his way back to the WWF at this point. They get him on the phone. Bulldog says, "Cactus, hang up the damn phone. I want some sleep." But Mankind goes back to his focus, which is Billy Gunn, who he's going to be wrestling later on that night. Kind of stinks having a UK show without British Bulldog on it, but hey, it happens.
So was he not signed? What's the deal?
So I think he was injured from WCW, got released, is on his way back. He was on the mend, so he doesn't end up coming back for a few months when he's healthier. But even when he comes back, I don't think he's 100%. In a few months, 99.
Was it just that he was on the mend, or was it that 90-day non-compete bullshit?
Oh, that it was probably that as well. You're right.
I bet you
but he was injured.
Yeah, because bro, if it wasn't the 90-day, we would have had him there and on the show. We just wouldn't have had him working. So I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Yep. Gotcha. So next up, we have Kane versus Midian. Kane ends up defeating Midian via DQ in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The corporate ministry gets involved. And just like the funny part to mention of this is X-Pac comes out for the save, who, of course, at this point, 99, is Kane's tag partner. But he chases off Viscera, Midian, and the Acolytes by himself. So little X-Pac, 6'1". He's not really that little. He's like 6'1". But, little X-Pac versus these giants. And they kind of were scared. Maybe more so of Kane, but it's just kind of like X-Pac kind of ran them off.
And you know what, bro? That is something that if that happened today, I would deeply criticize that. But I will say in my defense, I am not at this show, and that's an agent call. Whoever is laying out the match, bro, that's an agent call. That's not a writer's call.
Even Kane obviously is a part of it too, but it's still 2-on-4. Did that? You know what I mean?
I'm not going to argue that at all, John. I hear you.
I remember. Damn, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was AEW, but I remember you kept doing the review show. Well, not the AEW review show, but like, I think it might have been WWE as well. But it was basically like kind of what we're talking about here in the same vein of like the guys will come out and without a weapon, and the other guys would run away. So that you, or I think maybe it's you and Disco or somebody was saying like, well, why wouldn't you have a weapon? Then the guy would run away. And then I noticed slowly but surely now the guys will bring out a weapon or a chair or something. It makes more sense because why would you run away from the guy?
You have to. Those are the little details, bro, that if you got too many cooks in the kitchen, you're just going to miss. I can't wait to see Monday's show with they ended the show with the Wyatt Six killing people in the back.
Yes.
And they're going to open the show with a 3-way match for the Money in the Bank. I cannot wait to see the way they handle this on Monday.
I'm just upset that Chad Gable might be dead. I feel like he was their best character. He was awesome.
Looks like he took a bullet to the head.
Yeah, that sucks. He literally was carrying Raw for a little bit. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, no, bro, he's doing a great job as a heel. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's doing a great job as a heel.
He's beating up Maxine, who, by the way, was wearing lingerie on the pay-per-view. I thought that was nuts. What is this, back to the Attitude Era here? What the hell is going on? Yeah, and then he's slapping around Otis.
Yeah. No, he's doing a great job as a heel. All that shoe stuff. Oh, I hated all of that. He's doing a great job as a heel.
And even when he lost, he did that like Kurt Angle 1,000-yard stare where he's just like lost, but his
Yeah,
eyes look like they're glazed over. Like he can't believe he lost to Sami Zayn. Like he's like
yeah.
shocked.
Well,
He
I
does
can't.
doing a good job.
I can't believe anybody loses to Sami Zayn, John. To be honest with you, bro. So I understand how he feels, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then we get a recap of Sable being stripped. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about the 5/10/99 Raw with the highest ratings when Michael stripped her of the title. But they recap her being stripped of the title. She was humiliated. The crowd was chanting, na 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 na, and hey hey goodbye. And she looked like she was in tears. But the funny thing is, she's legitimately gone. Right? I mean, she's that was literally her exit. What the hell's going on with Sable at this point? She
Oh my
just
God.
was. It just couldn't handle her anymore.
Yeah, bro. Again, John, I swear, I'm not, bro. The success of everybody, the success of the company in the WWE, bro. Everybody stayed in their lane. JR was talent relations. I wrote the show. Kevin Dunn did TV. Everybody stayed in their lane, bro. There were a lot. The level above me, there were a lot of issues with her. I mean, and you knew, apparently, eventually she wound up suing the company. That's all documented. But yeah, bro, they were having issues with her, and I didn't get involved in that stuff, John, because it was none of my business. All I needed to know was what's the roster this week. If somebody's gone, tell me. If somebody's coming, tell me. But what was going on contractually and all that stuff, I was never in that loop.
So with her, she has Nicole Bass, her bodyguard, if you will. Nicole Bass is still there. Unfortunately, Sable is not. She has a bit of a chest cold. That was kind of the excuse, but she's really gone. So it's funny, like they mention it. Oh, she has a cold or something, and it's almost fatal. Blah blah blah. So they're almost like teasing that she really isn't gone. Like, is that any reason behind that, or like are they trying to work with her to try to mend fences, or they know she's gone? They're just making that up to make a joke out of it.
John, I swear I don't know. Like I don't remember, bro. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Um, I'm sorry. This would be one of her last shows, so she does actually come out here and helps Bass destroy Tori. So Nicole Bass defeats Tori in 30 seconds. So then after this, Sable will be gone. It's just interesting that like they know she's a problem, but they're trying to kind of work through it. But then it's just one of those things where she just becomes so annoying, becomes such a problem that they just won't deal with it anymore, basically.
Oh, it was probably if I had to guess, John, if I had to guess, I would think at some point the word lawsuit was brought up. And once you bring that up, bro, it's over. Like
See ya.
it is absolutely over. And I swear from what you are telling me, I would think that whether it was her lawyer, I would think that that word was dropped and that game over.
Man, she just seems like it was a bit of a headache. I know she returns 4 years later in 2003, eventually marries Brock Lesnar, but it just seemed like at that point, man, like you're not bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin or Undertaker, but apparently she thought
Yeah,
she was.
bro. But I got to be honest with you, man. They at that time, John, too, because I was there. And bro, I say this all the time. Don't, bro. When I hear people talk about, Vince McMahon and sometimes the WWE, what was racist, this and that, I could tell you firsthand. If Vince thought he could make money with you, he didn't care what color you were. Without a shadow of a doubt, it was all about money. However, the company was sexist. No question about that, bro. There was still a lot of that good old boys club. And if you were a woman getting over, because, in their minds, bro, you're taking a spot on one of the boys, it's going to be a very, very tough road for you. And Sable did experience a lot of that. I saw it, bro. Sean Waltman shitting in her bag. I saw that, bro, because she was a female getting over and they didn't like it.
Well said. So then we have Shane McMahon versus X Pac for the European Championship. Shane McMahon, with the help of Briscoe and Patterson, China's out there. Triple H even makes an appearance here. Shane McMahon ends up defeating X Pac via pinfall, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Pretty good match by all accounts. Shane McMahon actually kind of maybe a little underrated a little bit in the ring. He's actually pretty damn good, considering he didn't have too much training, but he was athletic as hell, unlike his dad. But
Yeah.
obviously, X Pac carried the match a bit here, and you had all the hullabaloo, if you will, like you like to say, all the interference to kind of make it even more entertaining. But of course, Shane McMahon cheats and does end up getting the victory. Kane eventually comes out and saves X Pac from a further beating from from the corporation as well. The corporate ministry are looking strong, to say the least, on this pay per view.
Bro, Shane and X Pac had a match, a big match.
WrestleMania 15.
Okay, all right, that's when. Okay, and that was a great match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, Shane was athletic as hell. And bro, for a big guy, Shane's not a small guy at all, bro.
No.
Athletic as hell, unbelievable, unbelievable, bro.
Oh God, if he's in like with the guys of today, he's like not a
Oh
monster, but
my God. No,
he's big.
he is
Yeah.
a monster. No, he is a
Yeah.
monster, bro, in there with the guys today. Absolutely, man.
Do you like Shane O'Mac going over X Pac though? It doesn't hurt X Pac, right?
No, and again, bro, it just sounds to me with everything you're laying out, it's really time to get heat on the heels. I mean, that's what we're really trying to get Shane in the ministry over. That's what it sounds like to me.
Because the Ministry of Darkness defeated the Brood, Shane defeats X Pac here. Even Midian didn't really lose to Kane. Technically, I mean, it was disqualification, but then they all came out. They tried to beat up Kane and X Pac. So building a lot of heat for the corporate ministry.
Yes, yes.
Now, here in the backstage area, Michael Cole is going to interview Mankind again, and the corporate ministry attacks him, hurts his leg. I guess he was legitimately hurt at the time, so this kind of made it better because he's going to have a match, but you can tell he's immobile.
Yeah.
So, kind of makes sense for it. The rest of the Union, Big Show, Shamrock, and Test aren't there to kind of make the save. So, he
Yeah,
gets beat up in the back.
it's funny, John, because again, this is the difference, man. So we're trying to get heat on the ministry. Mick is already hurt. Let them get heat on Mick.
Right.
Bro, look at Raw the last 2 weeks, right? So they have Braun Breaker put Ricochet through a windshield.
Yep.
And then the next week, he's going 20 minutes, a 50-50 match with Sheamus. Okay. Bro, should they have not had the Wyatt family destroy Ricochet? That's the stuff that I'm talking about. You have Breaker do it, and then you totally erase all of it by him going 15 minutes with Sheamus. The same week when Wyatt 6 is killing people, that should have been their first victim, bro. But that's why I'm saying when you've got so many people involved, there's going to be a lot of misses.
I feel you. I agree. So Mankind gets taken out of the back, but hey, next up it's Billy Gunn versus Mankind. So he's got to come out. So initially he doesn't make it out. Billy Gunn thinks he's going to win by a forfeit, and all of a sudden Mick makes his way out. So it's like that triumphant Rocky style babyface. He's got to come out. He's got to keep pushing. He's got the match, even though he's immobile from the attack, even though he really is injured in real life. The match still ends up going 12 minutes, 15 seconds. Billy Gunn gets the win, but over a very injured Mankind, who, by the way, after this will take some time off, but then return for the summer. So he will legitimately be injured.
Bro, that's what I mean about protecting all the talents, man. Billy goes over, Billy gets the win, but you're protecting Mick because of what happened the segment before. That's how you protect all the talent.
I like it.
Yeah.
So basically, we're left with the main event of the evening: Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H with China versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer for the WWF Championship in an anything goes triple threat match, which means that, like Shane McMahon said before, there are no rules for the main event. He's throwing the rules out the window in hopes that one of the two members of the corporate ministry, Triple H and Undertaker, are both part of the corporate ministry, will end up taking the world title off of Steve Austin. Do you like this with both heels being kind of together? Like, wouldn't they just team up together and just destroy Austin? Or is there more to play here that Triple H wants to be champion secretly and
Yeah.
Undertaker also wants to be champion?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Because we're going through that thing. I'm watching the Attitude Era right now where it's, it was the triple threat with Taker and Kane and Austin.
Yep.
And when push came to shove, both Taker and Kane wanted to be champion, bro, because that's a way to elevate the title and make the title the most important thing. So even though you've got Taker and Kane in the corporate ministry, bro, the WWE title supersedes everything.
Do you remember the middle finger Vince gave? This has nothing to do with anything, but I'm just curious. Do you remember the middle finger Vince gave after Undertaker and Kane won, and he gave the title? Do you remember that?
I
What
just
is up with
watched
his hand?
Yeah.
It's like this. Like that's
Oh,
not like this is the finger.
yeah.
He's like this.
I gotta go back and watch. I just watched that, bro. And they broke his leg. They broke his leg with the
Yeah.
stash. I just watched. I got to go back and look at the hand. I didn't see that.
It's just amazing. I remember me and my friends used to always laugh, like, how do you give a middle finger like that? Like his thumb's out here, his index finger's here, and the middle finger. It's like this is like these are Austin. You give the double bird. You know what I
Maybe that was the first time Vince ever gave the finger.
mean? I just was like amazed. I was like, what is up with his hand? Is he too like muscular? He can't do an actual like.
I got to go back and look at that. Yeah.
Weird. So Stone Cold Steve Austin ends up getting the pinfall over Triple H in 18 minutes and 30 seconds here to retain his WWF title. Of course, Paul Bearer's cheating, Chyna's cheating, Undertaker and Triple H can't get along. At one point, Triple H and Undertaker kind of almost turn on each other, and Austin and Triple H are almost like working in unison for a little bit because Triple H secretly really wanted the title, even though Undertaker has the title shot next week at Over the Edge at the next pay-per-view with Austin. Triple H is kind of showing that, wait a second, you're the leader of the group, but I want the title too. So it was teasing a lot of dissension, although it kind of makes more sense psychology-wise, because if Triple H and Undertaker really were teaming up, they would just beat Austin, and Austin would lose the title. But we can't have that happen.
Yeah, no. Bro, I swear to God, I'm sorry. Now that you mentioned this, like, God, bro, I am so sorry I missed booking a match between Chyna and Paul Bearer, bro. Oh my God.
Really?
That would have been tremendous. That would have been absolutely tremendous. Missed it.
Why?
Missed it. Oh, just the spectacle of it, bro. Can you imagine a Paul Bearer having to get in the ring with Chyna? Can you imagine the TV, the entertaining television that could have been, bro? God, missed opportunity.
Hey, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Paul Bearer versus Big Show. You were loving it, and Big Show's beating the hell out of him. You were loving that.
I'm such a huge William Moody mark, bro. So freaking under. Bro, let me tell you something. These people with freaking Paul Heyman today, Paul Heyman could not shine William Moody's shoes, bro. Couldn't freaking shine his shoes. He was the greatest storyteller in the history of the business, bro.
You know what's amazing? I was just watching something somebody posted on Instagram. It was not Paul Bearer. It's Paul Heyman and Jerry Lawler going head to head when ECW was doing that invasion thing.
I remember that.
People, I'm reading all the comments and all that stuff. People were shocked that Lawler like abused him on the mic. Like, Heyman's the greatest. How the hell is Lawler better than him on the mic? I was thinking to myself, I was like, do these guys not know? Like Lawler, Flair, Piper, they would all eviscerate Heyman. And it's awesome. He goes, you know why you like hanging out with this ECW guys? Because you're a little light in the loafers.
Bro, all freaking Heyman does, because I've watched long enough now, bro. He just repeats himself over and over and over. It's the same shtick every time. Paul Bearer went out there, he had to tell a story. It was a different. I am the advocate in this. It's the same shtick every week with the guy, bro. So don't even get me started.
I just think the problem is nowadays he's good, but he looks even better compared to everybody else who's not that good on the mic. But if you go back to the era of Lawler, Flair, Piper, Hogan, all those guys, it's like or Bobby Heenan. He doesn't even not even close to as good as those guys.
Yeah.
But people haven't seen them in a while, and they're seeing the current day stuff, so they think he's the best. Yeah,
bro. So many people. I've come to the conclusion. So many people who thinks today's stuff is great, Bro, they just didn't see the stuff that we saw.
Yeah, of course not.
It's that simple. You didn't see it. You could not have seen that stuff and think today's stuff is great. Absolutely, bro. Remember when the WWF had the three-headed monster with Albano, Blassie, and the Grand Wizard? Are you kidding me, bro? Like you couldn't touch them today, bro. Albano's promos. Oh my God. People didn't see that, bro. They've never seen that. They don't know.
I even love the Slickster. I thought Slick was awesome.
Yeah, Slick was great, bro. Absolutely. They never saw that stuff, bro.
So just kind of recapping this show, what do you think overall? Was it okay, or it's just a house show? Who cares?
It's just, bro, it sounds to me like what Raw has become today. Raw basically is a glorified house show, and that's what it sounds like. But again, bro, it was a moneymaker, and that was the purpose behind it, to make money with this show. And I'm sure they walked away with a good payday, bro.
I just feel like these UK shows are almost genius in a sense, because these people will pay extra money because they think it's a pay-per-view quality, even though it's a house show.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 1,000%. Yep.
And hey, you're getting a main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin in it. So, you can't discount the show. So it's like, okay, oh shit, he's defending the title?
Yeah.
You have to see it. You almost can't miss it because it's an Austin title match too. So that obviously plays a big role into it as well.
Yes, agreed.
All right, let's wrap this bad boy up and head towards the plugs. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Vince, what do you got going on?
Guys, go right now. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. If you've never been a Patreon member, you can get a free week of the Brand Bro sample and listen to all the shows. Patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Really interesting. I have to bring this up before we wrap it up. You're doing some signings. I'm shocked. You're leaving.
One.
Oh, one. Okay. I thought you were doing two. No.
Well, it's a weekend. It's a virtual signing on a Friday, and then on a Saturday, it's going to be in a some big wrestling store out there.
Yeah, the Wrestling Universe. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. Well, in popularity.
I told you. I mean, John, I talked to some of your people. And I just told these guys, like, bro, this is my price. It's not worth me to leave my house under this price. And these kind gentlemen met the price. So I said, okay, I'll do it.
I love it. Yeah. And are you going to be visiting your daughter that weekend, possibly?
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to visit her. She's going to have to come out to me, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. She better. Jeez. I mean, come on. Yeah. You're never in town. Come on.
I know. Never, bro. What about you? You going to be there?
You know what sucks? I'm going to be at Disney World with my son that weekend. Oh, somebody texted me because I said, whoa. Vince is doing something. They go, what's the date?
Yeah.
And they told me, I'm like, oh my God, of course the one time, or one time a year we go down to Disney.
Yeah.
Right, July 19th and 20th?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. We got to get you back again.
Yeah. Hey, bro, like I said, I got the price. You want to pay the price, especially if it's on the East Coast. I definitely go to the East Coast before anywhere else.
You sound like the $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price, bro. Absolutely.
All right, Vince. Thank you. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. See you right back here next time. Have a good one, folks.